So now they're both safe, huh?
They are both alive and safe. After completing his revenge on Inspector Cabanela, the man in red left. And now a new story is about to unfold in a new present. How are you feeling, you old crazy character? Hey there, Prof. We're both alive, I see. Yeah, nothing like it, baby. But I don't know if I'm getting old or what. I've got a few aches and pains here and there. Used to be a little thing like an explosion wouldn't bother me. Yeah, right, like I'm gonna believe that. So what, the guy in red is gone, huh? Just in case, I posted special investigation units all around the building. Let's just pray the boys come through for us. Damn it, you picked a bad time not to listen to me, buddy of mine.
Well, and you get pretty much killed.
Well, no, because he's still suffering from the broken bones from the explosion.
Yeah.
Just because we erased his death, he still has the broken bones, unfortunately. Well, it looks like both of their deaths were erased. Unfortunately, in the case of the Inspector in white, I can't call it a complete success, but in any case, these two have the information I need to start tracking the manipulator. I'd better talk to them. It's not just saving their lives, because it's about 45 minutes now. It's also the aftermath as well, because you've got to talk to them and get all the information from them. If I knew things were going to end up like this, I would have tried to die in the explosion, baby. That way I could have been dancing after Big Red by now. I might be able to erase deaths, but it's true I can't do much about injuries. But really, you shouldn't be talked that way. Yes, sir, I suppose you're right. I just hate feeling so helpless. He was right there within my grasp. All our plans were resting on tonight, and then this had to happen. I guess he's thinking about his spotless record. It's not too late, Inspector. We still have a chance. Maybe I can catch him. Say, you're right. That's not a bad idea. I'll cooperate with you fully. Go ahead and fire away with anything questions you like, Mr. Ghost.
Mr. Ghost.
Yeah. That guy mentioned revenge. Revenge against the people who stole his life away 10 years ago. He's a fool. He's the one who made the decision to take that little girl hostage, and he wound up dead. He only has himself to blame. But what about when he said this? I was murdered by all of you. Detective Gerald, who forced me into a corner, Lynn, the little girl who was playing in the park, and finally you, Inspector Cabanela. If you hadn't have done what you did, I never would have pointed a gun at that kid. Yes, 10 years ago on that day, the Special Investigation Unit was working on a certain big case. We hauled in a young man, an important witness to our investigation. And then I did it. I made two very stupid mistakes. Detective, I'm telling you, I don't know anything about it. Fine. You're under no obligation to talk, of course, but if you don't, the Special Investigation Unit can make the rest of your life a living hell.
Yeah.
But I'd just been assigned to the Special Investigation Unit, you see. They didn't share much info on new cases with a newbie like me yet, and I wanted to impress them. It was only supposed to be a simple matter of taking his statement, but I was too green. I pushed him too hard. I drove him into a corner and made him lose all hope. That was my first mistake. And then I made another mistake on top of that. Cabanela, got a minute? The chief wants to see you about your report. Got it, I'll be right there. You stay right here and be a good boy now. And that's when I did it. I left it behind in the interrogation room. My gun. How could you? He used my gun to escape. What he said was true. If I hadn't made that mistake, he never would have had a gun to point at Lynn in the first place. Manipulator. We first found out about the manipulator's existence during a certain overseas communication. Overseas communication? For national security purposes, this country keeps tab on the communication networks. This particular communication was about making a deal with a certain foreign country. The land of the blue Smurfs. He said he wanted them to buy him and his powers. That's how we first heard about him. Of course, we didn't know what he looked like then. In order to prove these powers of his, he gave them 2 predictions. He foresaw 2 completely preposterous, impossible cases. The case of a man who would sing national secrets during a live rock concert broadcast. And the case of a man who would take the chief commissioner hostage in his own office. Those 2 inmates at the special prison, huh? We kept tabs on their communications and launched an investigation, and then we finally pinpointed where they were going to meet tonight and staked it out. That restaurant, the Chicken Kitchen. The manipulator plans on leaving this country tonight on a submarine that belongs to the other country in this deal. Submarine? But we haven't been able to find out where it's going to surface. It's terrifying to think what would happen if his powers were to fall into their hands. Right, highly unlikely that they'd use them for peaceful purposes. And now they have that little girl as a hostage. Cabanela.
Yes.
We have to stop him before he leaves the country. Spotless record. This spotless record of yours, is it really that important to you? Of course, baby. In some ways, it's more important to me than my own life. Than your life, huh? After all, it's because of my record that I'm able to get my hands on all intel as head of the Special Investigation Unit. And because of my position, I get to direct all aspects of the investigation into the manipulator case. The manipulator case? That's why you cared about your record so much? Of course! Why else, baby? I just could never believe it, man. Gerald shooting Elmer? I didn't care that he'd confessed. There was definitely something more to the story, some secrets. I did everything I did everything I could to climb the ladder, everything in my power. And then I finally found the answer. It took 5 long years, though. The manipulator, he's going to prove that Gerald is innocent. What incredible determination. And all for a friend. There's only one thing I just don't understand. If you were so determined to help Detective Gerald, then why didn't you help him escape from prison? That's an easy one, baby. Escaping from prison is a crime. I wasn't about to help him commit a crime after spending 5 years trying to prove him innocent. And he himself asked to be executed, you know. As a man of the law, I had to make sure the execution was stopped legally. That's why I brought him before the Justice Minister, too. I needed to buy as much time as I possibly could, baby. So that's it, huh? And it makes perfect sense. It's just like that weird lady, Emma. She didn't handle it in the best way, but she did what she thought was right to make her husband try and change his mind. And now you see that Cabanela has never cared about just himself. It's because he wanted to prove his best friend innocent.
In the best way possible.
Exactly. So he did it the right way. But there's one little unfortunate result of all of this. Lynn completely misunderstood your intentions. Ha! What's a little misunderstanding? My baby will come around, give it time. But there are more important things to do with our time tonight. So, back. Now we need to talk to Pigeon guy. Mr. Superintendent, do you mind if I talk to you for a minute? I haven't always been a junkyard superintendent, you know. I used to be part of the police. The police, huh? Not as a detective, but as a medical examiner. I investigated victims' causes of death. "10 years ago, I was asked to autopsy a strange corpse. Hit by a meteorite fragment and died instantly. That's what the police report said. There was no signs of life. He was definitely dead, but I never filed an autopsy report. That's because the corpse suddenly vanished, leaving behind only one clue. An unusual corpse. I bet that's what I've been chasing all night. Could you tell me more? Yeah, sure. I have an interest in you recovering your memory and finding your true identity too. So let's go with unusual corpse. That is the only way I can describe it too. It was an unusual corpse. He was dead alright, no question about that, but there wasn't a scratch on him. Not a scratch, but I thought he was hit by a meteorite fragment. I don't understand it any more than you do. I was completely bewildered, but when I tried to autopsy him, I was even more puzzled. I couldn't perform the autopsy. You couldn't? What do you mean? The scalpel went in, but I couldn't cut. As soon as I tried to make an incision, it would heal up in the very next instant. And that's how it went. There was no scarring or blood either. And I never had the chance to solve the mystery. That's because the corpse up and vanished on us. The morgue is well guarded. Nobody could have stolen that body, but there is one way the corpse could have disappeared. What's that? Cecil, you're dumb. He got up and walked off. Even I know that. But granted, I've played it before, but still.
Yeah, I've played it before, and even I know that. Of course you know that. You played it before.
He got up, opened the door, and walked out on its own. What? He was dead, but he wasn't dead. We saw it with our own eyes tonight. Not even that explosion could kill him. And he didn't even feel it when he slammed his fist on that stove. One clue left behind. The corpse left behind some data from some testing I did. I got some readings for some kind of radiation coming off that body. Radiation? It used all kinds of instruments, but I couldn't determine exactly what kind of radiation it was. Some undiscovered type from world unknown. Wait a minute, could it be? That's right, it was coming from that meteorite fragment. I went to that park and tested the spot where the meteorite fell, and just as I expected, I detect radiation coming from that crater. It was the exact same pattern of radiation as that of the corpse. At the time, I thought he was some kind of immortal being. He would die only to come back to life. I wanted to research it all in depth, so I quit my job as a police medical examiner. Several years later, I came to learn the connection between my research and the manipulator case, thanks to the arrival of this crazy character here. Oh, stop now, Professor. Do you want to see me blush? I don't think anybody wants to see that, Cabanela. Cabanela's arrival. It was about a year ago, I'd say. This man in white came dancing into my research lab here. I heard there was an oddball researching here who's researching Temsik. Is that you, baby? Who are you to be calling anybody an oddball? And that was the start of a beautiful friendship. I was investigating the manipulator case then, and then I heard there was a man who quit the police force to study the meteorite. When I heard that, it was like a meteorite had struck me on the head. At the time, we were just starting to get leads on the manipulator. We didn't know who he was yet, but we knew he was communicating with a certain foreign country. In one of those communications, we heard the manipulator say this: "The source of my power is not of this world." And that's when I put 2 and 2 together, baby. The manipulator case and Temsic was somehow connected. Which also explained how 5 years ago he used his powers to manipulate a birthday surprise a little girl made for her mother. He added that gun to the contraption, most likely by controlling Camilla. So that contraption in the basement there, you built that to try and help Detective Jowd? That's right. Jowd and I worked together back when I was with the Force. I used the reports of his case to try and recreate the device, but there was just one part of it that I couldn't reproduce no matter how hard I tried. Camilla told Jowd it did something it shouldn't have, made an impossible move. I added that part to the device I recreated. I put in a part that would allow Cupid to rotate, otherwise the gun wouldn't fire. So that must mean somebody manipulated Camilla's contraption. As a result, we proved to ourselves that the manipulator actually existed. Inspector Cabanela! And there is Lynn. Hey, baby. Sorry about that phone call. I must have sounded like a real villain. I hate to spoil your image of me, of that cool cat inspector you always looked up to. Is that really the image she had of him? Inspector Cabanela, I'm sorry, I just heard. You were chasing after that man all this time to try and help Detective Jowd. This manipulator is such a dangerous character. I was hoping you didn't have to be involved. So that's why you had me arrested tonight, isn't it? Like I always say, baby, if someone's in the way, throw 'em in the slammer. Yikes. Tonight. I really thought we finally had him, but my body gave out on me right at the critical moment. It's like a cruel joke. Ha ha ha! But a joke is a joke, you might as well laugh. Jowd! The minister called off the execution order, and while he was at it, he let Detective Jowd go free until tomorrow morning, too. That's a pretty extreme while he was at it. Yeah, I gotta agree with that one. Letting a death row inmate free until the morning. Sorry I took so long to get here. You can leave the rest to me. There you go again. You've always been like that. You make everyone else run around and then you swoop in at the last second. Jowd. 5 years ago, you left this coat with me just before you turned yourself in. I promised to give it back to you one day. And he has his detective jacket back. Although he's still wearing his prison stripes. I've been waiting for so long, Detective Jowd. Waiting for this day to come. Thanks for not giving up on me, Lynn. Okay, I'm off then. Good luck, my old friend. This present you gave me, it's just what I needed, thank you. Glad you like it. Cecil, are you there? Yeah, I'm here. You and I have to go find that man. I need your help. Will you do this with me? Sure, but how? We don't know where the submarine is and the phone line doesn't work. They use communication cables to make their calls. We'll get you hooked up somehow, you'll see. Could you wait here until we do, please? Okay, fine, I'm counting on you. This true self you're looking for? I bet you'll find it soon. Oh, bless. Alright, I'm leaving, Inspector Cabanela. It's almost dawn. I'm not who I thought I was. I'm actually further from knowing who I am than ever. But now I don't feel so alone. Each one of us,
Oh,
for his or her own reasons, is looking for the truth. Together, I think we can shed light on these mysteries and drive away the darkness. But it's almost dawn.
dawn's a coming.
And finally, this is it. So, and this actually took longer this time. I think it's because I had to explain the situation beforehand. Kind of added time onto it, whereas before I just went straight into it. So anyway, hopefully this is the last time I have to do this. I still haven't I think the rest of them are absolutely fine. So, next time, it will be going back to the night I first recorded all of them. So, until then, farewell my friends, and I will see you soon.